welcome to yet another episode of Sheena's Perfect Bite. I make low glycemic meals for people who have diabetes, PCOS, celiac disease, any sort of gluten or insulin resistance issues. And today you're absolutely going to love what we're making. We're going to do my version of an Italian white bean soup. It's really delicious, nice and creamy. It's actually vegan as well. Lots of hearty vegetables. You're going to love it. So let's get started. Okay, so now we're going to start making the soup. The first thing that goes in here is about a tablespoon of grapeseed oil. No more cooking with olive oil. It has a really low cooking temperature and it can actually go rancid once it hits a certain degree. So cooking with grapeseed oil or with coconut oil as well. Now we're going to start with one whole onion. Medium-sized onion is fine. Now we're going to let this get a little translucent before we add the other ingredients. Okay, as you can see, the onions have gotten softened and are a little more translucent. So let's go ahead and add some of the other ingredients. We're going to add 3 small zucchini or 2 medium-sized zucchini, just cut into little bite-sized squares. Start sauteing that up. Then you're going to want to add about 3 to 4 cloves of chopped garlic. I like my stuff really garlicky, so if you don't like as much garlic, just use less. Okay. And you're going to want to soften up the zucchini from here. All right, as this is softening up, we can add a pinch of salt. Big pinch of black pepper. And then a tablespoon or 2, I never really measure. Let's go 2 tablespoons because we're going to add more veggies. Of just a dried Italian spice mix. Okay, the next ingredient that we're going to put in our soup is 3 to 4 cups. Of kale. Now this is kale from my garden, red kale and white kale, but you can use any sort of regular green kale, dino kale, whatever you prefer. All right, and then we're going to add another 3 to 4 cups of cabbage. You can use Savoy cabbage. This is regular cabbage, but I prefer Savoy or Napa, and you can find that pretty much in any grocery store now. Now it looks like a lot, but it will cook down and shrink down. So go ahead and stir that up. And then we're going to add 2 cans of diced tomatoes. These are all organic as well. So the tomatoes with the juice. Okay. There's 1 and there's 2. 14.5 ounce cans, 2 of those. All right. Now you're going to stir this up. And from here you can put the lid on and let it cook down a little bit as well. Okay, as you can see, the kale and cabbage has cooked down quite a bit. Aren't those colors beautiful? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add 8 cups or 2 boxes of vegetable stock. This is organic vegetable stock. Now you can see the soup's kind of coming together. Now what you're going to want to do is warm this up just a little bit, but I'll show you how this works now. At this point you're going to need 2 cans of organic white beans or cannellini beans. I made them myself just because it's a lot cheaper that way. So these are some of the homemade white beans that I made. You just add those in. And then what makes this soup really creamy is the puree. So you take 2 more cans of white beans, or if you homemade your own beans, put them in a blender and you add the puree to the mix. It'll be about 2 cups total, so let's add that much first and see how that comes together. So at this point, just warm it up through and I'll show you what it looks like. So the soup has come up to a boil. Now what you're gonna wanna do is turn this down on low to low medium and keep it on a simmer and simmer this for about 20 minutes and then it should be done. So I'll show you what it looks like then. All right, our soup is finished. Now what I want you to do is taste it as you go. If it needs more salt, add some more salt, pepper. If you want more beans, less beans. Really, you can make the soup however you like, but I like this version. So I'm gonna show you how I like my soup plated up. First thing, little trick I can teach you is a wet paper towel underneath the cutting board will help keep it from slipping when you're chopping. So I'm gonna show you how to chop up some basil for the top of your soup. First, just get your basil leaves. You layer them on top of each other and you roll them up. And then your knife is gonna go in this motion. Keep the tip of the knife on the board and a rocking back and forth and keep your fingers tucked back, okay? So like this, okay? All right, there's your basil, little pretty ribbons. And just take your bowl, spoon in your soup. All the nice chunks of zucchini and kale and cabbage. And the beans really help it kind of stay hearty and gives you more protein as well. So there's the soup. Sprinkle a little bit of the basil on top, and if you must, you can do some olive oil drizzled on top, but either way, that's how I like it. So I hope you enjoy the soup. Please make it